Come and meet Ariana and Sam. Sam's struggling with work-life balance because an increase in workload and responsibility is impacting on the time he's spending with his family. In Ariana's case, her anxiety is making it difficult to enjoy the time she spends with her young daughter. Our FIT practitioner, Tracy, uses active listening skills to understand their problem and how they're affected by it. When she hears them talking positively about change, indicating a readiness to move forward, she then asks them to imagine how their future will be. Notice how she follows up on the imagery exercise to draw attention to the bits that are most motivating and most different from how things are at the moment.
I'm suffering quite badly from some anxiety at the moment. It started surrounding my daughter and now it's kind of spilled into other areas of my life, like my relationship with my husband, my social engagement with friends. It's kind of going into every area.
Right, so it's snowballing and taking control of things at moments.
Yes.
Okay, and this is something you want to get on top of?
I would, ideally.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. So how long has this been going on for?
Well, I've had sort of a vague general anxiety issue since I was a teenager. It started around my mum and driving lessons, but once that era of my life sort of ended, I was able to keep a lid on it. It's been at a pretty consistent level until I got pregnant with Tiana, and it was a relatively uncomplicated pregnancy, but then when she was born, something went wrong and her heart stopped. It had to be restarted, so we were in and out of hospital for quite a few weeks. And from that point on, my anxiety about that has just snowballed.
Okay, so it's a real touch and go situation. There's a very scary, that's lifted up the anxiety levels again.
Yes.
And it sounds like this has sort of come from quite a long time ago. You were saying about your mum.
Yeah, she was quite anxious as well, a little bit of a helicopter parent, if you will.
So you've been successful in actually managing it and keeping on top of it,
yeah.
and actually doing the driving test, which was a big thing, considering the influences you've had, and moving away from the environment made a real difference, but now it's flipped and you're feeling it's getting out of control. I get a real sense you don't want to be that helicopter parent.
No, I want to give my daughter the freedom she needs as a toddler. I want her to be able to socialise. Like I want to let her go up the stairs without me carrying her the entire time. I want her to be able to go to the park and run around without me shouting at her to not do something. I want her to be able to go to playgroup and nursery so I can have time by myself with my husband, things like that.
So it sounds as if it's making you behave in a way you don't want to.
Yeah.
But it's also stopping you from doing things you'd quite like to as well.
Yeah.
Okay. How else is it impacting on you?
Because I'm so anxious, the only two people I trust to look after her are my mum and my husband. But even then, it has to be with the same routine that I give them, like, so I know that she's safe. And it's making that relationship strained because I need them to do that. I'm being quite pushy, and then I'm just tense and I feel scared like all of the time.
I'm either in work or I'm at home thinking about work. I've got no time for myself, no time for my family, and it's just ruining a lot of my relationships with the people I love.
You've lost your compassion through that. And given the impact it's had on you, what would you want to change?
Everything. I'd like to be able to spend the time with my family, give them the love and care that they deserve. I want time for myself as well, so I can reflect on myself and, do better as a father, as a, partner, and make sure that my job is being done to the best quality it can be, because as of right now, it feels like we're all just powering through trying to get the job done because there's so few of us, we can't maintain the high level of care.
Okay. So I'm hearing this level of compassion to yourself, and that would enable you to be more compassionate at home as well, which is where you want to be. If we had an ideal world, and things changed magically, what would that look like for you?
I think it'd be maintaining my relationship with my loved ones, you know, being able to spend time with them, take them out on the weekends or just when I have a day off, you know, but while still doing great at work and, you know, giving the best quality of care that I can give.
Okay.
I think being able to manage the two would just be so perfect.
Close your eyes again. And I'd like you to think about your future self. So what would life be like if you didn't have this anxiety and this regimented lifestyle? So what would your daughter be like? I want you to think about a particular situation in the future where you can imagine yourself and your daughter being there. I want you to visualise everything around you, the event, who's there, any smells or sights that strengthen that image. Think about how you're feeling, your heartbeat, your emotions, your behaviour in that situation. Really hold on to all aspects of that. Okay, can I bring you back? Okay, how did that feel?
It was a really nice feeling to imagine myself in a place where I wasn't so anxious and so overbearing.
Okay.
It felt like my heart wasn't beating out my chest for the first time in ages.
Okay. So it sounded like a really positive thing for you. So having more control over the event,
Yes.
seeing yourself a bit happier.
Yeah, I'm happier and Tiana's happier as well.
Okay.
She's a toddler in the image rather than a thing that I'm holding on to so tightly.
What I'd like to do now is just think about looking at the negatives of where you are now so that we can switch the imagery and think about what it looks like if everything was sorted and where you'd like to be as your ideal future self, just so we can get that contrast. Okay,
Yeah.
so we won't stay in the negative for long. It's just to enable you to see that difference between where you are now and where you want to be.
Okay.
So if we go back into closing your eyes, I just want you to imagine tomorrow and think about what's happening at work. Thinking about the people you're seeing, the environment you're working in. Bring in all your senses, those sights and smells, how you're feeling. Okay. Moving that forward to the end of the week and how you're feeling at home. I'd like to just switch now to your future self and just imagine being at work tomorrow and you've put in some successful steps and your experience is different. Think about how it feels.
It was hard initially, you know, feeling all of the negative emotions just 10 times stronger and picturing the future or like tomorrow and the next week or whenever. It was hard because I don't want to be in this position any longer than I have to be. But then the switch was so relieving. It felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders and it was joyous.
Okay, so a real sense that it needs to change.
Definitely.
Okay.